Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermorians! Hi, I'm your host of the most, Nicholas Anthony Tockert, freelance author, artist, and sword master, creator of the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon, along with the Simple Spear, which I'm waiting for my copy to come in. And the Big Stompy Robot lines of games and novels. More is coming out of that soon. More is coming out of the Simple Sword series soon. A lot is in the works. If you want to support this broadcast, you can either join the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon and just say, yeah, I'm here to help with NTF, or you can simply throw me a little cash at paypal.me/Nicholas Tockert. Woo! We've got a whole lot of comments. I've got a little bit to talk about. I'm excited because, folks, it's Friday. Now, normally my Fridays are busy, but boys, today going to be an extra spicy Friday on my part because I have some visitors coming over tomorrow, and I want to try to get things as nice as possible. So it's going to be intense. Also, as a bit of a show note for the folks who are going to make it, Historical Fencing Guild live stream tonight may be a little more fun, or at least a different than normal. I'm trying something new. I put out a link to the to a folder on Google Drive, and I have asked my viewers to put in sword images. You know, very polite, just the sword, nothing getting funky with the people holding it. You know, I got to keep everything YouTube appropriate. And I will go call Swash or Passe instead of my version of Smash or Pass. So I will be going through whatever they have decided to bless or inflict upon me and discussing, do I like it, do I not, why or why not, and going through just to see some bit of content. We have a new video to show that anybody who's a fan of Mike Jimmy, Morsha DeBron, has probably seen. I'm sorry, I'm eyeing a lot this morning. It's been a rough morning. Having some technical difficulties with my breathing machine, actually. Because any electronic device exposed to me for too long loses its ever-loving mind. And that's not nice when you need things to function. So part of the Nick curse. It's also why I'm really not fond of hospitals. But before I show that, let's see who's where. We'll get some talking. We'll get some prep. We'll get rolling on this happy Friday, everyone. And then you guys can tell me both your accountability, because I have a bit of accountability, and then your weekend plans, because it seems like we're getting into festival season, and I love festival season, and that means there's more opportunities to do things. So let's see. We'll see what's coming down the pipe from my favorite Nevermorians. Coming in first through the door at 8:58 in the morning. Hey, and I appreciate that, is our man Joe Bachman. Hey, Joe. Good morning and happy Friday, folks. Yep, it is great to hear from Joe of joebachmanapps.com joebachtech.com/apps-portfolio. He is the reason I am able to stream on so many services. He is the reason I'm able to keep the higher production quality. And yes, I know my background is moving and my camera is trying to autofocus on me. That's a lighting issue, but I'm having some eye problems, and the bright light on me that I normally use to not look half-faced and sinister. Sorry, there was a stuff slide somewhere in the house. Mandy's cleaning. But I can't do the really bright light on my eye. So it's a little dim. I'm hoping to see a doctor about it. I have some concerns, but we're going to go through the line. But thank you, Joe, because I will always thank you and plug your apps. And I can't wait to hear what you're planning to make, because this winter is going to be a great time for Joe Bachman. I can sense it. My precogs are firing off. And morning, all. Morning, Nick. I will be listening and taking care of some things at work. Well, good morning, Joe. I got my Joes in the house. I got some morning Joe. I don't get coffee in the mornings, but I am experimenting with chicory. It's a coffee substitute. And I'll get into that after I do what I always do when our man, Jody McVie, shows up, because here on WNTF, never mind the furthermore.
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, and I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
That's right. From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, is a wonderful venue or show where Joe D. McVie gets to publish his stuff and talk about his work. It's really a neat. He always has a great angle. And I hope you guys caught him and the rest of the guys on Comic Book Spectrum last night. I only got part of it because we were shopping and there's some dead zones between here and Lafayette. But aside from a guest viewing of Cookie's Hand, which old Nevermind the Furthermorians, anyway, dig, we it sounded like Brian reviewed some neat stuff that was non-superhero comics, and I'm definitely here for that. But to get into it, I'm experimenting with chicory, because not only did I find out that my favorite flower, which is this defiant little blue weedy flower that a lot of people don't like, it grows around my house. It was really intense when we were out here, and you can't kill the stuff, so I kind of like it. You can also take the root, clean it off, cook it, kind of caramelize it, and you get a coffee-like substance that was very prominent in the South and was attempted to be used as a coffee substitute, but it does not contain caffeine. Now, there is a distinct kind of a bitter caramel aftertaste that requires some tweaking, But I tell you, we had a couple cold mornings, and I had a warm beverage that wasn't causing me pain and conveyed some nice flavor to me. So it was really nice. So if you're having caffeine problems, look up chicory as a substitute. And being that I'm fairly prepper minded, I may just try to cultivate more of the chicory around my house so that should the poop hit the proverbial fan, I will have my coffee like substance. But we're going to go a little farther. And let's see. Greetings, greetings. So people are greeting each other. That's good. Carl Whitson says, good morning, everyone. Sorry to be late to the pre-show. Calvin was hogging the screen to watch cat TV bird tapes. You know, Carl, you have a reputation as being a bit grumpy, but you've got a soft spot, especially for your cats, and I respect that. Donna Carlene is greeting everybody, saying, "Hey Joe B, hey Joe D." I knew somebody named Jody once, for a long time actually. She was a fencer, like probably still is. But hey Donna, how you doing? Just let me know if there's anything you need to make today go a little easier. You know I will do what I can. Sometime today, if everyone gives me 5 minutes, I hope to open my Amazonia. Well, you know what? I have no problem with you cracking open Amazonia. It's exciting. I have acquired something a bit for art research that I've been after for some time. It was actually on my birthday list, and I found it relatively cheap. And I thought I was getting it in used condition. It's much better. The Battle Chasers Anthology. Now, part of it is it's a great story, and part of it is the art that I believe this is Joe Madeira. Yes, Joe Mads, and that's not a shot on him. That's my horrible speech impediment. But he has what was touted as a very anime fusion style art that was popular in the early 1990s. Or as the Gen Z folks, the late 1900s. I love it. Make me feel old. It means I have survived. But I want to study some of his proportioning because he's one of my two favorite artists. Well, definitely two, because J. Scott Campbell will always be like my number one American artist for like comic book stuff, and then Mads, and then probably Michael Turner. Michael Turner's way up there. Now I'm waiting for Glenn to materialize and go, but you're not talking about Jack Kirby. I see Jack Kirby as a Model T, or possibly, yeah, I gotta go Model T because it's the foundation that a lot was built on, and fundamental, I mean, to the history of comics, and defined what a lot of things were. But I need something a little more modern for what I'm trying to do. So you study the history, you study the mechanics, you see how other people materialize them in a way you like, and then that influences. So I'm looking back at the things that influenced my style. So you're going to see things like Joe Madeira. I gotta get the enunciation from that and beat that into me. J. Scott Campbell, artistically, mind you, and of course I love the writing for like both these books, because Danger Girl was just fun, and I love pulp fun. I love adventure stories. I love fantasy. So I'm kind of orbit in there, and then you have like Masamune Shinro and a few others from the Japanese traditions, and by bringing them together, I can find what I'm trying to better understand what made me want to draw from an adult perspective, so that I can and the stories that made me, so that I can create better what I want to. And sometimes you have to look at your own foundational building blocks. So that's what I'm working on, creative research wise. Creatively, I'm between a couple projects. I've started a new one for the guild. I really need to do some game design work for myself. And once I get through this weekend, I will be in much better shape to do a lot of that. So I've been prattling. I would like to hear your accountability and see what's going on. So we've got a good comment dump. Ooh, that's a spicy comment dump. I like that. Got a little depth there. Okay, cool. And greetings, and my darling. Aw, I like when married couples show affection to each other. It's not depicted enough. Last night on Dan Hollifield's Last Man Standing, which was one of my favorite programs, both to watch and attend when I had a nightlife, we discussed spiders, snakes, and lizards. It was a weird night. Well, like the old song says, I don't like spiders and snakes, and that ain't what it takes to make me love you. Anyway, not sure why, but we had a majority of authors sitting there. We did talk about Michaela Jane's books a little. I have found when you get a whole bunch of really creative authors together, the odds of the conversation going somewhere truly bizarre and not connected to anything objectively is increased exponentially. Because the vast majority of authors really dislike just sitting on one topic. They'll wander through topics, especially not just authors, creative people. I love the conversations creative people have, especially when they're doing something else. So what you see on Sketchy Saturdays with Mike, Jimmy, Laura, and DeBron, that's on the Raging 2 Network. Great. The conversations are amazing. I've even gotten to go on there in the past, and I'm thinking I might try to go on again if I can convert my rig to work for overhead streaming, which I might actually be able to do, as now I am quite curious on that subject. We'll see. Let's see. Grat needs help. Kickstarter.com/projects Grantastic Beowulf 1 through 4 adventures that span centuries. That's all. That's a huge, really neat novel project I'd like to see more people get in on. Oh, God, pardon my yawns today. I know it's not like me to be this relatively low energy, but like I said, I've had some troubles with my machine. And that means I'm not recharging right. Let's see. Stellari has 11 hours to go. Now, folks, our dear friend Cindy Koepp, who I will be running her ad in the very near future, has published a game, Stellari, based on her world, which I love. I love when world building spreads out into side projects. Now, she ran into something really unpleasant, and that is the Kickstarter problem of people who pledge and then retract, especially pledge in large numbers and retract their pledges. Now, I understand that can happen to anybody, but one, don't do it to try to boost their numbers, because all it does is torment the person running the campaign. And two, the people who do it to get the labels and stuff as I'm a super spender or whatever it is, you suck. Please stop doing that. That way you can stop sucking. I mean, it's just that simple. I'm sorry if that's a little abrupt, but Cindy's one of my own, and I dislike when people mess with one of my own. So Stellari has 11 hours to go. Go to Kickstarter and, learn a new game. And because I support Cindy, I am going to throw up her plug.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Yeah, folks, support Cindy Koepp. She's an amazing lady. Now, and I really do mean that. I want her stuff to get going. We're going to knock through some more of the comments because I want to show off Mike Jimmy's commercial. And I hope Cindy's doing well. Let's see. Okay. Big comment dump. Big comment dump. And I missed my anchor, which always stinks. Okay, wait. We're almost there because there we are. Blue Teddy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Blue Teddy Narrations. I have to go to your site. I haven't had a chance, but I'm looking forward to it so that I can promote properly. Hi, Blue Teddy. Hi, Blue Teddy. Everybody's reading. And yes, we talked about romance comics, and BKM did review one last night. And it sounded like a really intriguing romance comic. So I'm looking forward to tracking that title down if I can through free or inexpensive means. So yeah, and don't be afraid to broaden your horizons. Kitty Calvin was sitting on my desk being lovey. I leaned down to his face. Carl, who's a precious baby, leans in to touch noses. Calvin, achoo. That's the most baby-like thing. Hey, Dick. Hey, Donna. How's it going? I hope it's just perfect. I'm going to take a moment because... Oh. Hey, Johnny. It's okay. Kirby doesn't make my top 10 either. Oh, Johnny. I am always enamored with your delightful subtlety. Just come in swinging. It comes right to my heart. I love you, brother. But yeah, I had something great happen. I walked into Walmart, and I did a Walmart run last night, and they have the Halloween aisle. Now I had to walk around because we had looped around to hit the food first. So I had to walk by the Land of Mariah, to which I'm like, Mariah, not yet, because, you know, the displays for a wonderful holiday I will celebrate when it's time were starting to come up. But in the much smaller Halloween section, I'm walking around with my son, and I'm looking at all the great stuff, and I exclaim, finally, my home decor aisle is up. And Shorty Shorts, that's really, I don't know her name, but she was wearing very, very short shorts, and she was a very, very tall, large woman. Not large like overweight, but large like, so 6 foot something, and then in big clunky heel things. And it's like, hi. She kind of looks at me because I wasn't wearing my Hawaiian shirt, so I looked a little too normy. She asked me something, and we start talking. I'm like, oh yeah, I love. She goes, oh, you like Halloween? I'm like, oh, I love Halloween. I have a 3 foot tall Elvira in my living room all year long. So we get talking, and it was just great to talk about the joys of spookiness and Halloween decorations, and feel like, because it was a little cool last night, and it had gotten dark. We were running late, so we hit more of my people. You know, the evening people who are mellow and laid back and dressed funny and really don't care how you dress as long as everybody's cool. You know that crowd? Yeah. And it was just so fun. And little man hits a try me button in the Halloween aisle and nearly jumps out of his socks, which is much, much funnier, as now he's built much like a Great Dane, in that he's, you know, several inches taller than me. And we had to leave the Halloween aisle because he was done. But that's the spirit of the season, and I love it. It revitalizes me. And I love the kindness of spooky people, because I find that, you know, you see somebody who's 6 foot tall with, you know, a big spiked collar on, and, you know, she probably could bench press me if she were so inclined. Like, hi, you know, chatting, and I have a wonderful time. I really have begun to fear the people who look more normal because they usually aren't. But yes, things are getting better, guys. Oh, now that is an interesting way to look upon it. Jack, this is from Joe D. McPhee. Jack Kirby is like a patent. It's a blueprint, one way to do it. However, patents can be approved on, and others will eventually get their own patents for what they do that is special. And yes, I like that approach because it's not demeaning. What Jack Kirby does is and did, and as soon as you pick up the story, he's doing it again because you're reading it. Has some amazing. There's some amazing storytelling there. There's some amazing visual techniques there. A lot to learn, and with Jack Kirby. When I look at a Jack Kirby book from a study perspective, it's about learning the tool set he's using, not the application. Because the art style isn't mine, and frankly, never really did catch my eye all that much. But the techniques, there are some great techniques in there, and they can be combined with more modern aesthetics and modern technology to create something amazing. And that's the process of innovation. Nerd Bacon got very, very spicy as we were talking about the tools of awesomeness. And Glenn was in a mood and I was in a mood. So, we get going, Glenn and I. And it was just a good show. And I love these kind of qualitative conversations. Now, let's see this. Bam. Because I had another one. Donna Carlica, I'm not accountable for anything. That's right. She has an alibi and a witness, and there's no evidence linking it to her. No DNA, hair follicles, nothing. Not a fingerprint in sight. Donna Carlica cannot be held accountable. She is beyond such things. From a desk of a small press publisher. I'm saying this as a person who doesn't overly focus on the art of comics. To me, it's the storytelling. Most modern artists don't do it well, and some older artists have dated styles. When we're talking comics, the balance between the story and art has to be maintained, because the art will get you to buy the first book, and it will get you to look at the first book, but it may not get you to stay in the first book. And second volume might not catch your attention, whether it's an issue or a volume or whatever. I can run a parallel here. I watch a lot of cartoons. I have a 13-year-old son, and I like cartoons unabashedly anyway. So we were watching a version of G.I. Joe called Renegades. It's free on Tubi. It's a very good, surprisingly well-written little G.I. Joe meets the A-Team kind of program. The art style is slightly dated and slightly limited. It's very akin to a simpler version of the Men in Black cartoon art style. It's in that family, possibly the same production house. Very enjoyable. No beef. Now, and I'm an anime guy. There was, actually before it, I think, another G.I. Joe program. And, my son and I just got done with the one. We're going to look at the other, called Sigma 6. Sigma 6 was a very Americanized take on anime tropes. Aesthetically gorgeous. If you like the anime character designs and lighting and stuff, much more advanced. They kind of have, if they didn't use CGI, it really feels like it, but it's very well done for some of the vehicles. But the writing and the dialogue is cringy and physically painful. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it because it gets a little rough, even though aesthetically it's beautiful. And I'm using the cartoons as a parallel because the medium runs, it's the same theory, but you're seeing it more seamlessly combined. Which there you don't have to worry about lettering unless you're Captain Subtitles here. Oh, what do you watch, subs or dubs? I watch everything with subtitles and then dubbed. I'm trying to get the story here. But knowing what makes that good and what makes that good, as independent creators, we can sample and go, I have to remember that this is important, and I have to remember that that is important, so that when I'm doing the cooking for myself, and yes, I'm a fat guy, I use a lot of food metaphors. If I know this flavor goes well with this flavor, but not that flavor, when I'm making it myself, I only put the stuff I like in, stir it up, and then I've made a bowl, and I made something I like. Joe makes stuff he likes. Not everybody likes Joe's stuff, and that's okay. As long as you realize that, are you going to be, are you going for mainstream acceptance or dedication to your vision and story and how you want to do it? And that's one where Joe has made his decisions, and it's fascinating. And that's what we all, as creators, and this is authors too, just because you're not, is it pretty? Although you should have really pretty covers if at all possible. Aspects of the story. I've known so many, authors who, they can write a good book, but they can't write a fight scene to save themselves, or they write great fight scenes, but their dialogue is painful, or plot holes galore, even though the world building is great. You have to be, it is better, in my opinion, to be pretty good at everything than it is to just be incredibly good at something and neglect the rest. So, if there's something you guys want to weigh in on this discussion, feel free. Oh, yes, accountability. What are we working on? Commissions, drawing smoke and mirrors, weekly occurrence. Awesome. Drawing 10-page short comic and writing an episodic comic. All eggs in all baskets. Oh, that's wonderful, Blue Teddy. Part of what we do here is just give people a chance to be accountable for what they're creating. And then talk about the journey, because so many people from the outside look at authors, and we get a lot of people who aren't authors on this show who want to learn about it, or they're starting up. And I like to use the approach, I show my scars so people can heal. So that, one, the accountability means I have to get on the show, this show, 3 times a week, and talk about what I've done in the interim. That's a lot of accountability. Because if I'm not creating something, I'm held to it. My Patreon, once a week, I've slipped a few weeks because of issues, but most of the time, once a week, I do Cyber Tacto, which is the Patreon exclusive blog where I talk about what I'm doing related to the guild and things like that. That has 2 purposes. It keeps everyone engaged and they know what I'm doing between videos, and it keeps me thinking at least weekly, sitting down where I have to think and to myself justify, am I doing good with the guild in a time where I'm not getting to physically spar with a lot of people due to medical issues and scheduling? And how do I maintain that? That accountability works for me. So I try to provide a support network here with the Rising Tide network, where we can, hold each other accountable and go, wait, did you do anything this week? Are you doing anything? And it's not just accountability for creation, because you're doing a huge amount of things, Bunny. But are you remembering to water? Are you remembering to take Blue Teddy? Sorry. Are you taking care of yourself and getting enough sleep? Because I try to make sure that the people in my circle have a good health work-life balance. And thank you guys for liking and commenting on this. I see 10 watchers and 2 likes. That's a good start. I don't know if that's my feed through Facebook or YouTube. They've been playing with the notes. But if you like and this has value, remember to like and share the show. And please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss this show. I do start fairly religiously at 10 a.m., barring technical difficulties. The Facebook notification doesn't usually go out till about between 20 and 30 minutes into the show. So it's really good if you can set a notifier there. If you're watching through Twitter, please let me know on my Twitter. That's at Tockert, so that I know it's worth still streaming there. Because if not, I'll move it to another venue, because I get 3, and then just share the YouTube link there. I need to know how that's working. So let's keep going down the line, and let's see what else we have going on. And I'm going to click Blue Teddy. That is my anchor piece, and I can come back. Wow, I talked a bit. Let's see. Good. Not good. Improved, but improved, not approved. Problems with multitasking. Now, that's where I have found in my ADD-addled mind, I have to be a serial tasker. I'm going to take the old Winchester joke of I do one thing, I do it extraordinarily well, I move on to the next thing. Now, in the day, what you want to do is multitask through passive action. So what I recommend is, I set out I do my cyber tacto. Now, I'm doing my show, on a Wednesday. Then I do my show when everything works. That way, the people have my show time, and further to read and react to the cyber tacto while my show's going on. By keeping yourself, it's the difference of taking steps, but you've done something that you catch up to, so it doesn't interfere with the process of what you're doing right now. I do my show. Part of my show is promoting other people. That encourages them to promote me. I don't currently charge for that service, although I will gladly accept any payment, because I'm trying to keep the lights on here. But we also, that promotes me. And by helping people, it makes better things for me to read. That's my form of multitasking. If you can do one thing, but have it have multiple effects. So if I'm doing a game online, if I'm running a game, RPG game online, I can then, because I'm recording it, I'm also writing the script for the RPG game that I just have to transpose and modify into a written product. It's about doing things that will give you multiple responses for your effort, not necessarily doing multiple one-shot things. I don't know if that mentality is making sense, but that's kind of my approach. So, tell me if that makes sense to you. I'm genuinely curious if I'm conveying my idea. And if that's what you use, because I find, okay, I'm an artist. I have to draw. I can't help it. But if I'm drawing something and I'm practicing, I put it up on DA, which is my gallery, DeviantArt. From there, it becomes a log. If I'm drawing something, it might as well be something I can use later. So maybe it'll be a image in the next RPG, or inspire something for the next RPG, or I'm working on getting merchandise set up. Maybe it will be a merchandisable product, so I can come back to it and use it there. At the same time, I'm sharing it on all my feeds so that it's working to draw attention to me. That way, again, one action having multiple ripples back. That's my version of doing things. Because if I try to do 2 or 3 things at the same time, I drop everything. I'm not good at juggling. So instead, I plan for the ripple effect to be serially, done in line to fix. So we'll see how that goes. Happy Friday, Cindy Koepp. I hope your campaign is going well. Let's see what we have. 11 hours and $197 to go. Grab a book or two, get a game, get some comic books for kids at cost. That's right, folks. She's doing some amazing things with her campaign. She's throwing in free digital copies of some of her content with the game. She's got a charity aspect where you can buy books that then go to comic books for kids, which makes sure that kids in hospitals and emergency rooms and clinics have access to comic books to help entertain them and make what they have to endure medically a little nicer. So it's really a great program. Cindy Koepp says, don't forget to tip the host. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Donna says 6 watching and only 4 likes. Get to it, you two that didn't like. And if you're not liking my product, I would never want you not to like something you don't. But I do ask, communicate. This is why the chat is. As long as you're civil, you are safe. Now, if you aren't civil, I have a legion of wrench wielding maniacs who will club you into submission. But as long as civility is maintained, I can take input and go, this is not my jam. This is why you're doing this. You need to fix this. And I can try to fix it. I know my broadcasting approach is a little different. Run to the Zon and snag some safe, snazzy books about protecting yourself and others. Amazon.com/Nicholas Anthony Tockert. Thank you, Cindy. Tonight, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can get to see some peculiar swords. Yes, Cindy has apparently taken part because she told me of a problem that was fixed on the link. And if you want to take part in the Swash or Passe episode of Historical Fencing Guild and throw some swords at me you want to see me react to, the link is available through the Historical Fencing Guild Facebook public group. That way, all the local folks and the extended digital guild can come together, and who knows if they're going to throw stuff I like, throw stuff I don't like, throw horrendous Kit Ray stuff to make me cringe. It will be good to see. So, you guys can get in on that. Comics question. So I assume this is to me and the chat from Carl Witzman. Does there have to be a hero? I'd work with someone to make Mad Gas or Cheerleader into a comic, except the hero doesn't emerge until late in the story. Important. This is a good point where we need to split the term hero and protagonist. Because in a story like the Mad Gas or Cheerleader, people will be invested in the main character. So hero in this is it? This is. Imagine you're reading a book about Jack the Ripper. Okay, and Jack isn't, or some version of Jack isn't obviously a hero. Usually, there are exceptions, and as Leafy Moss is approaching, I'll be talking about that more. Leafy Moss being the formerly secret holiday where authors and creatives and people of a piratical nature exchange PDFs for free to get through the cold fall and winter months, and to help people more likely engage in the wonderful thing of reading A Night in Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny, but which you should buy if you can find it. I have bought many copies. I have a habit of giving them. But in a story about Jack the Ripper, or any story told from the bad guy's perspective or about the bad guy, the hero is the foil. It is the individual who comes in, and the antagonist who meddles with it. So you definitely could write a story and do a comic book, basically, I don't want to say verbatim, but scene for scene, and go right fine till the person to stop it comes in, depending on how it goes. So I think that would be a meaningful project. If anyone else wants to weigh in on that, just let me know. We'll check the chats. G.I. Joe Renegades was a great story where the art direction took people away. G.I. Joe Sigma 6 was great story art-wise, but was great art-wise. G.I. Joe Resolute was the perfect balance between the two. I don't think I've seen that yet, so I will look to see if I can get a hold of that. And I don't want to say that the art style in Renegades was bad, because it's actually I want to say European style that I quite like. It's just not one I draw in per se. And I could revisit it. It's a little simplified for me, but it's very clean. And I do tend to like that. So let's see. Hey guys. Hey Grant. And Joe, thank you for the recommendation. So the backer who canceled 50% of the funding for Stellaria is now telling me she's considering reinstating her pledge. Given the reason she bailed, I'm baffled. We'll see how it lands at 9 p.m. I still don't know the background on that, but I dare say you are the kind of person who has a lot more friends or people who feel they owe you than maybe you realize, Cindy. And she may be getting some, or he, you said she, so that's where I got it from. She may be getting a bit of blowback, because it would reflect very poorly on her to have made a pledge like that, backed it out to somebody like you if it was done for the wrong reason. Like I said, I don't know the details, and I wouldn't never plan for people to do the right thing when it looks like they're not going to. But don't be hesitant to accept it when it comes, Let's see. Sorry, I'm late. Hey, Grant, it happens, especially if you're dealing with the notifications. They're running late. My voice has just been horrible lately. And I know why. I have to work on it. Hey, Grant, I posted your Beowulf link earlier. Only about 136 needed. Wow, you're getting close. Neurosis for Everyone, Amy Hale on Amazon. I haven't run her link in a long time, largely because she hasn't made the show, but I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to run the Amy Hale. Yep. And we are definitely, Amy Hale's a wonderful author. She does some amazing stuff. Now, you may notice my frequency of videos is changing, and some are getting more play than others. The simple fact is, I'm going to play people who are more engaged in what I'm doing and what's going on this channel over those who don't. That's part of the privilege of doing it for free. Should you want a guarantee, that's when we have to start talking about monetary exchange. But and I may have some new videos coming up real soon for some other people. Let's see. Grant says, I've been sleeping most of the day because my real job is setting up and tearing down concerts, and the biggest concert of the year is today, Elton John. Hey, one, that's pretty cool. I mean, let's be honest. That's just pretty cool. Two, when we are doing a job to keep alive and then writing to keep our souls intact, we have to keep alive first. It's triage, and it stinks. What's happening, I think, is people are realizing how to adjust that triage because the loss of soul has been too much. Loss of the spirit. But I think we can do that. So I'm never going to give you any flack for doing your job to pay your bills. And accountability means a lot to different people. Some days, and for a lot of us, heck, there's some days for me, if I can get up and walk out and do what I need to do to be able to do the show, that might be as much juice as I can generate. There are a lot of spoonies in this network, and I want to let you know that still counts, folks. And patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild for behind the scenes and previews, and they're getting some goodies stuff. There's they got the first shot at the Swash and Passe plug for the channel. They'll be getting some new updates as soon as some other stuff comes in. And as the weather hits cooler consistently where I can do stuff, then more videos will come out. Accountability for Joe Bachman, still working on coding tutorials. Plan for app updates coming after the tutorials are done. Plans for new apps also in the works. Awesome. I think if you have the ability to jot a note down, because if I try to, Lord knows it'll crash during this broadcast. If you get into working on the Big Stumpy Robots app, consider switching the drift direction roll to a 8-digit direction off of so that it would be the main directions on a grid. Because if you want to switch it over to grid play, that might be easier, or a or 12 o'clock, and we need to have the thing where we establish north, where north is 1. But that's just me saying stuff so I remember it. I know that's probably confusing to you, that you're getting Nick randomly assigning game design mechanic thoughts. And of course, feel free not to run with it. I'm trying to simplify it in discussion, because unfortunately most people can't think in 360 degrees. Hey, Grant. Yeah, see, everybody loves Grant. Nick, comic-wise, I do what I need to get my story out. I would have been discouraged if I followed most of the flawed traditional thinking about comic production. Now, that's one thing. What the comic that gets produced is always better than the sorry, I used always, so my brain gave me an exception, but it's better than the one you don't. However, so there's a lot to be learned from the traditional. Just take what can work and realize everything can be improved. That's it's a balance now. Let's see, what else do we have here? Because we just had a comment dump, comment dump, comment dump. Alrighty. Elton, wow, that's got to be a heck of a setup. Yeah, I bet it is. Hey, and Grant's getting the greetings he may or may not have missed. No worries, we all understand. Huh. Oh, right. Sleep. Yeah. Now, I'm going to skip ahead because just for a second, you say, meh, I'm in my 20s. I'll sleep when I'm 30. I'm going to tell you something about that. And this is one that I worked a job, a very important job. I was a direct support professional taking care of special needs clients in the home. Most of them were behavioral. Most of them, those who weren't, had severe medical needs requiring my assistance. I was remarkably trained and very good at what I did. However, I ended up working 120-hour weeks. I would do 4 hours off the clock, get 2 hours of sleep between 16-hour, 18-hour, 23. They tried to schedule me 24-hour shifts. And it literally did damage to my ability to sleep. So sleep is vital, bud. And a lot of what I've done through, because I was that guy. I've worked 3 jobs doing that sort of thing. And a lot of that is why I have the problems I have today. So teach yourself to maintain the sleep schedule as rigidly as everything else, and it will serve you very well. And it's very important. So I'm going to go back up and kick the things that I skipped for a second. Cindy Koepp is, I'm working on the suitable arrangement siege rewrite, keeping up with Home for Manatee serial, and starting on Animal Eye 5 script. Yes, that is glorious. And let's see. Jody says, I would have lost my mind trying to make other people happy with the packaging and not telling the stories I have in mind. Fought with too many artists over the vision of the projects. And that's why you do it yourself. Now, sometimes that does mean you won't get the acceptance in the fiscal mainstream that you could, because there are a lot of people who simply don't, and please don't take this wrong, Joe. But there are a lot of people who don't like your art style, and a lot of people have commented about the rather dated animation style, rendered style of Daz 3D as you do it. I'm not saying anything bad about it, because that's this kind of things that they say are many of the same critiques people give about Jack Kirby. And there are some people who love like the ground that Jack Kirby walks on, and the very golden age style of art. And it's coming back around. Trends happen. But you have to do for you first. You also seem to be reasonably successful at what you're doing, so it doesn't matter what they say. Just understanding that if you end up fighting with a lot of people that you have a connection with, and you get a rep for being difficult to work with, it will make it harder for some people to want to collaborate with you. And I'm not saying that you do, or I'm not saying that you have these things. I'm saying that is part of the perception that as I'm sorry, my tablet rig is losing its ever-loving mind. That has to be considered as independent creators, because we're not all working in an office somewhere. So there isn't a form holding us together. It means you may have to do it yourself. And your response has always been, fine, I'll just do it myself. And that's okay. I applaud it, because I encourage independent self-work and creation, as long as one maintains healthy evaluation and an ability to accept critique from people you respect, which you seem to. I wonder if Elton John will have a real piano. Most people have a piano-shaped wooden box with an electric piano inside. You know what, Grant? If you're allowed to tell us, like next week, would you? I love things like that. And Cindy Koepp is plugging irreverent holiday humor for the Hallow Birth Thankmas season at smashwords.com, looking up Brian K. Morris. She's talking about Santa Stein, the post-holiday Prometheus, and Batman sound effects, which is an amazing behind-the-scenes series on essays about what happened and what was going on with the Batman, I won't say 67, the Batman I grew up, Adam West stuff. A lot of fun to be had there, and we have a comment dump, so let's rectify that before I click the next link. Ooh, we must be getting close to the end because, well, we went over an hour already. Awesome. Very fun books and a comic. Yes, get Animal-Eye art to decorate your stuff. Both of these are through Bear Publications. One of them is www.bearpublications. The others are bit.ly/bearpub. Comic-related madness on Pops Van Zant's YouTube channel. Royal Cruz does Animal-Eye art on his artstation.com/Royal Cruz. And you can get custom art from Royal Cruz at subscribestar.com, Royal Cruz art. Advice for caregivers and a deep dive into the book of Job. Amazon.com/Victoria Adams. That is the book I am saving for that midwinter reading season. I want to see about getting my paws on that. Sentenced to Troll, now in audio through SL Roland. Thank you. Sorry, Donna, I was paying bills on the other monitor and was late with my like on the video. I appealed to the Dark Pope and he gave me absolution. Well, I hope he's watching too, because his presentation on that romantic comic was great from what I caught. And that's always fun. And we all love him. I get to see him soon. Sorry. Art reference prop just fell into my hand, as it sometimes does. Thus ends my break. Very sad. Don't forget to tip your host. Hashtag bring cookie home. Sartanart76 for vintage cartoony soon. Let's tune into the Historical Fencing Guild tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I stink at writing marketing copy. Go back, Stellari, please. bit.ly/Stellari. Lurker mode engaged. Remember, Cindy's always there. If anybody hasn't checked out Beowulf yet, please do. We're really close to getting funded. Brilliant, John. Johnny comes in again with the punch responding to Carl Witzman's question a while back. Need for a hero? Nah, slice of life manga goes brrr. And I love slice of life manga. I love and the anime born of it. The silly stuff. You don't need a defined hero heavy conflict thing. If the protagonist is good, that means it can go very light, fluffy, Ghibli-esque. And that's a good way. A lot of the main characters in Ghibli aren't necessarily heroes. They are there. Look at My Neighbor Totoro. It's not a heroic journey as much as an adventure. There isn't a drive. It simply happens. And there's beauty and wonder to be found in it. And I think appreciating that from either a very beautiful sunlit lens or a very dark lens can make a good story. So I would not worry. I think that especially in yours, the protagonist will be compelling enough that people will consider her, if not the hero, very, very intriguing. And when someone comes to stop her, it may be an interesting point to see who people root for. Look at Death Note, for example. Actually, that's a great example. Death Note is a series where someone basically gets a notebook given to them by a big demon dude who has an apple fixation, and anything they write out with somebody's name describes how they die. And he uses the first carrier of the book, uses it for somewhere in the line between justice and vengeance, but it causes this, gets identified as, is this a serial killer? How is this happening? And it gets, really interesting, where are you rooting for the guy who's stopping all these killings, or are you rooting for the person with the book? Or do you not care because there's a hot blonde? These and other questions can be answered. And I think that's the other reason why Japanese manga and comics and anime are doing better than a lot of the American stuff right now, because the complexity of story, and it's not just the capes and cowls crowd, the capes and tights crowd, and that's that innovation, that great difference between a lot of it, is what makes a lot of it great. And the other thing is there's just a lot of content being generated. It's okay, Carl. Your punishment will come later. LOL. According to Tina Turner, we don't need another hero. That's great. We need a hero. Need a hero till the break of... Now that's going to be stuck in my head. Thank you. Anyway, simple answer, no. The villain can be protagonist or central character, where the person takes them down as an antagonist. Just remember, just a matter of how you tell the script. Carl, and thanks, folks. I hope we got good support for Carl. And more greetings. And drift is one of the things I plan to fix. You rock. And that wasn't high five. The nerves make my pinkies sometimes come out when I pull my thumbs out. I do that a lot. It's just part of the thing. And morning, folks. Sorry so late. Hey, you're fine, Richie. I know a lot of what's going on in your real world. I'm just glad you're here. Hope you're creating and you're having as good a time as you can and growing through the strife into a better position. That's, my prayer. Now we go. Joe's got hot for now. I've got a few things to iron out before the weekend. See you folks on Monday. And some of you folks later on the HFG live stream and the room of an unusual color. Yeah. And it's okay. I know that Joe, cheats on me on Fridays. I know this, but he has the courtesy to kiss me on the cheek when he leaves. So it's okay. Anyway. Okay, sorry. The problem with being a good actor is you get used to it and you can almost cry on command. But the problem is then it's really easy to cry on command. Anyhow, yep. See you later. Reg, keeping you in our thoughts. Thank you. We do. We think about you guys. Hey, Rich, virtual hugs your way later, Joe. Hate is gonna hate. We as creators have to be happy with with what we produce. It has to be up to our own standards. Yeah. At the end of the day, you do your best. And it may get discovered long after you pass. It may not. But let yourself have the journey. Oh, yeah. Tonight's show. There is a design for an offensive flamber side that I have no idea whether or not would be usable. Why do I have a feeling that my swash or passe is going to turn to curse sword images? Oh no. If you listen, you can hear a seal popping. Oh gosh. Man. This could get really rough. Let's see what else is going on. Black Lagoon was a better example. Main character was average corporate worker who had to make the choice to become pirate mercenary for hire due to his circumstances. Wonderful, wonderful jump there. And Black Lagoon's a great series for complete fish out of water transition. Neat character growth, amazing characters, really diverse setting. I dig it. Well referenced. I'm going to lunch today. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Grant Lankard. Do stuff for Elton John. Most probably haven't watched that anime or read the manga either for Black Lagoon. I have watched Black Lagoon. It's been a while because I came off of both health and financial issues. And really, it's hard for me to watch Had some random pop-ups there for a second. You see my pen. You know what? That might be the problem. I may have to find my pen container because I wonder if that's sort of shielded to keep the thing from trying to the tablet from detecting it. I set it down and Sir Pennington was trying to push the button for me. Dang it. Okay, let's see. We've got more issues going on. That's fine. And we go here. Later's Grant. Donna Carly Cohen wants me gone. Duma must be lurking around, so I will take my cue. Run for your life. I don't think we're going to hear from Jody in a while. Okay. LOL, Jody. Sorry from the desk of small press. Well, sure, I misread your comment. It's morning, y'all. You know, yeah, I just said y'all. Yeah, this is a very morning. Cats will be poking around soon for their brunch. I'm surprised they haven't pestered me yet. Yeah, we're well over the hour line, and I need to run something special. I have a couple banners I want to run, and then we'll get into the next set of conversation. But Mike Jimmy, dear friend Mike Jimmy, comments, hide comment, brand, here we go. Has been working on an animated project, and he's got the intro done. So I'm going to run it because the Life on Korra intro, and look up Life on Korra everywhere because it's amazing. I'm sorry. You guys have no idea how exciting it is for me to have a voice credit. Even if it's still in the works. Like, Some button somewhere is sticking, and there's difficulty, and I have to figure out why. But I'm not going to mess with it too much because that's a great way to goof up my broadcast. But someday, when Mike Jimmy has time, I want to have him on to talk about world building because what he's done with Life on Korra is incredible. And, it goes back also to what Carl was saying. Do you need a hero? Oh, it's going to be in my head. One of those songs you can't hear while driving because you'll probably get a speeding ticket. But I'm sorry, my brain just shorted out for a second, and it has rebooted. We are on a precipice of greatness. I think a lot of people in this group. Yes, my pen is trying to trigger my tablet when it's not touching anything. Tech is getting a little arky. But sorry, the what I'm seeing from people is people are producing games, apps, movies, books are pouring out of this group. Live streams are constant. There's no reason why you wouldn't, with people who have ties to the Rising Tide, you could get almost everything you want entertainment wise from somebody that is tied to this organization. And it is really, really cool to me to see that as a thing that happens. So I really want to thank you guys. Before we go any farther, I want to thank you for what you're doing and what you're sharing, because we're all getting stronger. We're all getting better. And like I said, this is historic stuff. Not everybody gets to be part of an animated project. Not everybody gets to be referenced in books or write your own books or draw or tell stories or see your stuff published or printed on merch or whatever. This is huge. And we must never lose sight of how powerful the creativity and gestalt around all this is, because it's making all of us better. It's a gestalt. The energy feeds on itself. It makes a feedback loop of creativity and support. And that is made possible by you guys caring and creating and having the courage to defiantly do so in the face of mundanity, which is one of the great enemies of humanity. You know, we can't let the boring or the fear-inducing, because there are a lot of threats. We just skimmed an economic cataclysm, actually, from a totally justified strike that nearly happened by the railroad workers. The world is precarious. And I, like Gandalf, believe it is the evil is held at bay not by the grand moments, but by millions of little tiny acts of good and light. The small, simple kindnesses in the world are the real bulwark against the dark. And the light of creativity that we put out makes so much of that possible. And I am dang proud to be involved in that in my own humble way. So let's hit the chat, because we've got quite a few comments coming. And I still have windows popping up where it thinks a button is being pushed. This is entertainment. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay, cool. Sorry. Getting a little nerve pain today. And my computer's acting up. That's weird. You know, I'm going to get one of those grounding wires that they hang. Yep. I am getting notices that my stylus is trying to make commands. So there we go. I think we may have calmed that down. That's why I've been stopping. I'm randomly seeing flashes like right-click this, right-click that. You know, like my stylus, my art stylus is still talking to my tablet, which is becoming mildly annoying. We'll work this out, but let's see. Comment, Joe G lurking around. Cat's poking, yay. Whoop. And that's another tech glitch. Okay, here we go. He's a good person to have on that topic. Had a great time with him talking about that. I bet. Sing it. Just the chorus. Get it out of your system. No, I really would love to, but my throat is actually quite sore right now. So if I did, it would be physically painful. Although a few weeks ago, I had a lot of fun at the end of Nerd Bacon because Luke's been trying to trick me into getting me unmuted because I usually sing along with Let's Be Careful Out There. And I realized he'd been trying. He was really kind of frustrated. He had a bad day, so I hit the button and I just belted that stuff. I do not sing well, but I do sing a lot. So, what I can't make happen for actuality, I make happen through volume. While Tina may not need a hero, Bonnie's holding out for one. Yep. Tomorrow, yes. Sign up now. If you guys look. Guys, if you haven't signed up to keep track of Frog G's Frog G Voodoo Gods and Magic, I don't know what to do, guys. I've been trying to plug this since he started talking about it. And tomorrow it launches in about 25 hours at noon on Red Valkyrie Presents. I almost said Dice Dudes and Dames, but it's not. Red Valkyrie Presents the launch of Frog G Voodoo Gods and Magic. And Frog G has been an amazing individual working so hard for everybody to promote across lines that even if it's not your jam, you deserve looking into it and sharing around. And if it is your jam, give the frog your money. All right? Cool. I'm glad we had this talk. And I will, of course, be running where is it in my feed? Bam. Frog G.
Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. It's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this to all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work.
A tale where to regain his humanity and save the woman he loves, Jeremiah must kill a god. This is a bizarre, outlandish, delightfully fantastic, and everything you want in a comic concept. Great story, unique art. Again, if it's your jam, buy that stuff. Boom. Let's see. Charcoal's asleep in the window. Aww. And we've talked about Frog G, Voodoo Gods and Magic on Indiegogo coming soon, incredibly soon. Tomorrow? It starts tomorrow? Yes, to about 25 hours. When it's a launch party? Noon Eastern Standard Time at Red Valkyrie YouTube. YouTube.com/Red Valkyrie. Tell them I sent you. I like to keep the M and DM. Those of you who know. Anyhow, folks, looks like we have ran out of comments, so I do need to run a banner for a couple friends here, and that would help if I click the right link. Yes, let me see. Boom. Yes, our friend, Kat Rothmel, is an amazing artist of herself and an incredible instructor, helping bring creativity and art to the masses. She does shows throughout the Northwest Indiana region, and all of the time she's working between two different middle schools, helping people at a critical age in their personal development find their creativity, find their outlet, find their voice across media, while teaching graphic design and basic art and so much to make the world better while producing these books. She's a wonderful woman. She deserves your support. And as soon as she gives me the links, Kat, I hope you're listening to this or catching it in the preview, we'll be there. We will promote that. I want to get her on the show. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty. And, yep. Be mean to the cyborg. I am seriously thinking of adding some tongue-in-cheek art of a cyborg being eaten by a vampire in when I do Dusk Falls over Ravencleft Gorge as a game. I also am planning to revamp it because it will be the launch for the fantasy version of the Base Plus 2 engine. And I've been working on it in that I've literally been sleeping and dreaming how I want to change and tweak mechanics. So good things are coming. Let's see what else. Frog G, check out Stellar. Please, guys, help Cindy Koepp out. Stellari, a quick game from the stars. Okay, we are well over an hour and a half, and I have a huge amount of house and lawn work to do for tomorrow. So I will be bidding you guys adieu after I run one more video for a dear friend who is a Twitch streamer, and I know that's off topic, but I want to bring her up for a second.
Hi, bunnies. This is Robin Yoda. Just wanting to let you know I have a Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Robin Yoda. You can catch me there Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific playing Stardew Valley, Saturdays at 2 p.m. playing The Sims 4, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific playing a random game from my Game Pass library. You can also find me Mondays on my YouTube channel, Robin Yoda the Lilac Bunny. I hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Robin Yoda's one of my oldest friends. We go several regenerations back, and the amount of courage it takes her, given her health problems and other difficulties that she would never talk about, is inspirational to me. So I hope if you get time, look her up. She reviews games, little short videos. Throw her a like, throw her a sub. It doesn't cost you anything, and she is part of my mission to get to 100. I want everybody I know who's out there doing stuff to get to 100. I may have to make some conversation about compiling channels with some folks. We'll have to see. But there's good stuff coming. And Carl, reach out to, we've got Joe. If Joe's still here. No, he was nearly killed by Duna. Never mind. But would somebody who handles the background on Comic Book Spectrum please put together a between 30-second and 1 minute ad for them so that I can promote their works? Thank you. Because Brian's been doing so much, but needs to do more. Let's see. Rich says, have a great one, folks. In the mortal words of a great man, love breeds love, hate breeds hate. Spread the change that you would rather have in the world. Yeah, folks. As you go out, tell your story. Write it down, record it, whatever you have to do, because as bad as you think it is, it can be edited just like life. But just like life, you can't edit a blank page. So stick around. Be kind to yourself and each other and keep reading. I'll see you next week for another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore.